number one issue of Prime. Ultraverse was one of the big 90s, early 90s comic lines from Malibu Comics, and it was definitely good times, because this is during an era where aside from the major comic book companies, you had a comic book company that really featured featured comic books with wonderful storylines. This one was written by Strazewski and Gerard Jones, artist by Norm Breyfogle, letterer Paul Mounts, editor Chris Olm, color design Paul Mounts. So, many comic books have their primary superheroes that represent the company, as Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, who have represented DC Comics, Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man, the Incredible Hulk, and Thor, representing Marvel Comics. And when the Ultraverse was launched, the face of the Malibu Comics imprint was the huge vein and muscles bursting superhero named Prime, and joined flagship characters Hardcase and Mantra. Prime was created by Bob Jacob, Gerard Jones, Len Strazewski, and Norm Breyfogle. And while one may want to compare him to Shazam, i.e. Captain Marvel, there are some differences. Mainly because the main hero is a 13-year-old boy named Kevin Green, who can transform to the superpowered superhero. Kevin is enveloped by an organic liquid flesh which turns him into Prime, and he has only a certain amount of time to become Prime. When the energy reserves are depleted, the outer body of flesh turns into protein goo, and he must pull himself out of it or he will suffocate. But the problem is that despite Prime's exterior, he is still a 13-year-old and is not mature enough to comprehend things about life. And often the decisions are made by a young teenager, and the words that come out from Kevin is someone that you'd hear from a young teenager, not an adult. So can you imagine him trying to make conversation with other superhero adults? The first issue begins with Prime wanting to exact punishment on a junior high PE coach for touching his female students inappropriately. And Prime, now knowing his own strength, he breaks the coach's arm. Another incident has Prime going to a drug home and going against a drug gang and blowing up their home. But one of the drug gang members manages to get a part of the ooze that came off Prime while shooting him, and he kept it in a vial. Both the coach and the drug gang member were interviewed, and you realize it was the U.S. government. One of the people in the government has the drug gang members electrocuted and steals the vial with Prime's ooze. Meanwhile, Prime's heroic deeds are showcased on television, but surprises people that he is showing up in the weirdest of places, such as a junior high school and a drug gang's home. But then we see Prime assisting the UN forces against terrorists who are blocking a route for food supplies. Prime easily destroys the terrorists, but immediately he starts to ooze, and he quickly travels back home, and we see a young teen who manages to escape from the ooze. Needless to say, a comic book about a young teen trapped in the body of a massive superhero is quite entertaining, especially since it's handled a bit more differently than Shazam or Captain Marvel. And Ultraverse is not following the comic code, so violence is often depicted in the pages of Prime. Still, it's a very interesting storyline that gets even more wilder throughout the first volume. So if you have a chance to check out this issue of Ultraverse Prime, definitely do it. My memories of Prime is pretty much probably not remember, but back then Ultraverse really had a marketing campaign for Prime. They did a whole they had a commercial. They had quite a few spots, if I recall. I just remember people in comic book line, the commercial, with them in the comic book line and waiting to get in. I think I have. Let's see if I can find a video of that. Hold on. Go. Let's check it
out. We're talking bass fishing all day, all night.
Presentation on Ultraverse.
Ultraverse comic books on sale today.
Comic book store. Let's go.
Like
couldn't be there in 48 for the launch of that Super Guy, or in 62 for the launch of that Spider Guy, but they can be there now for the birth of the Ultraverse.
Whoa.
Lines! That way!
Prime Hard Case, first editions in comic shops June 16th.
Jump! Jump on now, jump! Jump on now, jump! Jump on now, jump! Jump on now!
Ultraverse comic books. Now that's excitement. Superheroes. First editions. Jump on now.
You sure about this? Ultraverse Comics. Let's do it.
They couldn't be there in 48 for the launch of that Super Guy, or in 62 for the launch of that Spider Guy, but they can be there now for the birth of the Ultraverse.
How bad you want it? How bad you want it? I want it! This way. Ultraverse, please.
Oh, sorry. All sold out.
Wait, this is a commercial. Commercials always have happy endings.
Just kidding.
Prime Hard Case, first editions in comic shops June 16th.
And that was it. So hold on here. So that was pretty much Prime right there. Well, no, that was a commercial of Ultraverse, by the way. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, so that was the Ultraverse commercials. Sorry, didn't know what the hell I'm saying here. But Ultraverse Prime, definitely one of my favorite issues from Ultraverse. Actually, all the major titles, Ultraverse, I mean, Prime, Hard Case, Prototype, Mantra, Freaks, they were definitely, even Firearm, those were definitely awesome issues. Shadow Man, I mean, there was just so many. Ultraverse were definitely one of my favorite independent lines because, they weren't, it was not about the glitz and glamour of the artwork. It was more story driven, and the artwork was cool, but the stories were what I was wanting. Because during this time, with Image Comics and Marvel and DC, there was so much focus on artwork and also trying to do something crazy to get readers, from Superman dying, the breaking of Spider-Man's back. With Marvel, they had the Clone Wars. But anyway, it was good to have something to read outside of that. And, you had Ultraverse, and then you had also Milestone, which was a big thing also for DC. And then you had, Valiant, which also had wonderful stories as well. So the thing is, there was wonderful alternatives for comic books at the time. But whether or not people would try independence, that's another big thing. So you can understand why the big push, the advertising to push Ultraverse, and I thought that was pretty cool because I would see it on television, and I was like, wow, they really put a lot towards the budget to have this, on television. I believe it was mostly on, I think I saw it on mostly MTV, right, during was it during Beavis and Butthead or something? Or maybe it was something else. I don't remember, but I just remember it was on television quite a bit. So that kind of tells you that they really invested a lot in trying to promote Ultraverse and getting those TV spots. But yeah, good times, man. Ultraverse Prime issue number 1. I believe there's also a dramatization version on CD. So I think I have that one as well. So Okay, everyone, you take care. I will see you later with a big wink, wink, and a see you later, everyone. Bye bye.